Welcome y'all here for tonight's oh my gosh, I was about to say ACOG iRacing Series opening inaugural event here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. About to go green here in just a moment, but man, the highly anticipated moment is finally upon us as we get set to go 67 laps of racing here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. My name is Icarus.
And I'm Dewey Schramm. I was wondering to myself how long it would take one of us to say ice car by accident. Turns out it took 3 seconds. But we're back, finally, after the long way away since March. And we're back with a new name, new cars, new people, and new beginnings. So we'll see where we begin here tonight. And we're going to begin with one of the newest cars to the iRacing service, and that is the NASCAR Next Gen cars for the shootout here tonight at Charlotte. And this should be a good one. And of course, you know, they're still working on the Next Gen. They're still updating stuff, and they're going to continue to update stuff, you know, through the start of next season. So I don't really know what to expect for tonight's race.
Yeah, me neither. I personally haven't driven this car a lot, and I know this build, they've done a few updates to this vehicle. So I'm curious to see on who's going to be the first to take the bite, and see what they have at the end. So it should be really, really interesting to see on how it'll all turn out. But regardless, this is day number 1 out of 3 in the Next Gen Shootout. Here for the Next Gen Shootout. Of course, this week marking the first off of 3 days for the Triple Challenge. ACOG opening up their series via an event called the Triple Challenge, first ever one that's been hosted, in which Friday we're gonna run the Next Gen, Saturday is gonna be late models, the dirt late models, and Sunday we're gonna be running the Super Speedway. We're gonna be running the truck on the Super Speedway at Talladega. So, person with the most points at the end of Sunday, they're walking around with a bit of cash.
Yeah, and if somebody manages to win all 3 events this weekend, they might be able to walk away with a little bit more than that. Basically, our version of the Triple Truck Challenge that the Camping World Truck Series has, so we'll see if anybody can try to cash in that department. Right now, about 12 minutes left here in the practice session for this event. Peter Kenny currently on top of the board. Won, I believe, the LCQ in the little IndyCar hosted we had a few nights ago. So I guess that was a bit of a refresher course for us up in the booth and for everybody out on the racetrack. But, you know, now it's a bit more serious. So we'll see how everybody takes this, and I'm pumped.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's been a while since I've even been on the service. Just recently, I now got back on, and I'm curious to see who's gotten better, who's gotten worse. So we're about to find out here in just about 11 minutes from now. So we'll go ahead and scoot ourselves in to a bit of interviews for this one. We'll go ahead and drag in our first guy into the booth of Dylan Basin in this number 38. Dylan, you got a copy?
Sir.
Hey, Dylan, running in the 38 machine here for tonight. Of course, first ever ACOG event here at Charlotte. What are you expecting?
I'm expecting a lot of carnage. I know people are going to go into turn 3 and 4 and completely blow the corner because of how tight it is. They're going to think it's full throttle, and it's not. Oh, crap. So I'm not really expecting much out of this race. People are probably going to clown it because, you know, it's a fun race for money. Last time I had a race for money, half the people racked up the final lap, so I don't know how it's going to be, but it's probably going to be a great start for ACOG, so.
Alright, but of course a lot of people who previously ran iScar running here tonight, so anything different you expect here, especially with a 3-month off season?
Not really. I mean, we might see some new faces up front just because of how much effort they got over the 3 months, but I think it'll be relatively the same, just with a different name.
Alright, about 10 for Dylan Basin, number 38, running the Toyota Camry. We'll go ahead and see it come post race, man.
Yep.
Dewey, pick your poison. Who's you going to drag out of the waiting room?
Alright, I do not like doing interviews, but, you know, it's part of the job, so let's see. Who should we bring in here? Let's bring in the guy that's fastest on the board right now. We'll bring Peter Kenny, the 19, up in here. Hey, Peter, got a copy?
Yeah.
Hey, currently fastest on the speed charts right now. Brand new season, brand new cars. How do you like the Next Gen so far?
I mean, it's very easy to drive. I'm not gonna lie. So it's kind of not. I don't know. It's not huge being up there, but I guess it's all right.
All right, well, I guess there's probably going to be, or at least what Dylan said, he's expecting a lot of carnage tonight. You expecting more of the same, or do you think it might be a bit of a cleaner race?
Oh no, I expect carnage. There's a lot of people who are just driving these cars for the first time, so it's gonna be. I think it could be a wreck fest.
Yeah, I think there might be quite the learning curve here tonight. Hopefully for you, you make it out of the carnage and you keep yourself up at the top of the charts like you are right now. So good luck tonight, and maybe you walk out of here with some money.
Yeah, thank you.
Now it's Peter Kenny in the number 19. We'll scoot ourselves down to a newcomer into this league. That number 25 of Amir Page. Into the booth he goes. Hey Amir, this is Zeke up in the MaxspeedTV booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Hey Amir, of course, first time with the ACOG guys here for tonight. What are you expecting?
I'm just hoping to finish the race. That's pretty much it. Just trying not to get wrecked out.
Now, currently you stand 17th in practice. Do we ask the same question to Peter? How do you like the next-gen car so far?
I dislike them very much. They're just really weird to drive. But I guess it's just a change and get used to it.
Alright, about 10-4. Amir Page is number 25. Currently sits 17th in practice. We'll go ahead and see it coming around, man.
Alright, so
See how he does. I don't know if it's his league debut, but one of his first races at the very least.
Yeah, that's right.
Still about 8 minutes. Yeah, still about 8 minutes left here in practice. Peter's still up on the top of the charts. And if you're not too familiar with Charlotte Motor Speedway, 1.5 mile oval located in Concord, North Carolina, just outside of Charlotte proper. And of course, you see all those red and yellow or red and white curbs in the infield. That is the Roval that is run here in the fall every year now for Xfinity and the Cup Series. It's a pretty cool facility. Haven't had the chance to go there yet, but definitely one of my bucket list items. And I think it's one of the cooler tracks, honestly, on the entire NASCAR circuit.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Of course, it's a staple here in the NASCAR circuit. You just run on it just about every year. Either with 2 or 1 race, one on the oval now and one on the road course. But it used to be 2 with the Bank America 500, which now turned into what was the Roval race, but what is the Roval race? Excuse me. But yeah, of course it comes with the iRacing package. Everybody gets familiarized with this very racetrack and the rookie street stock, so it's nothing too new here with the track itself, but with the car, totally different. Very, very new car. Everybody's still trying to get used to everything.
Yeah, NASCAR did quite a few test sessions here at Charlotte. I know they did some at Darlington. I think they did one at Texas. And I think there were a couple of tire tests that they did with this car as well. So trying to see how the car drives in different places. And of course, we'll know for real at the drop of the green flag in the Clash next year. More information here on the track, roughly 1.5 miles in length. Session time is noon. Pit road speed 50 miles per hour here, so we might see a couple of pit road speeding penalties tonight. We shall see. Fuel window of question mark laps. I guess we don't really know how that's going to be yet, but 3 tire sets that these guys will have at their disposal here for tonight's event.
Yeah, that's something interesting, that I think this race will really determine how long you can run on fuel. We're not running a full fuel tank. We're running 75% fuel here for tonight, so I'm pretty sure you are going to be required to pit at least once. So, very curious to see on how it'll all go, but see more track information here, just repeating the same thing, but 67 laps, 125 miles, and 4 turns around the corner. This is a 1.5 facility.
Track tempo 121 is going to be pretty slick, especially in, Peter said they were pretty easy to drive, but we'll see how much of an impact that extremely high track temp has, because obviously the higher the track temp, the more slick the racing surface is, and with the session time being noon, that temp is probably not going to go down much, if at all, through the end of the race.
Yeah, and there's also a strong gust of wind. Usually that would play evident on super speedways, but I mean, Here at the Speedway, I'm not really sure if it'll slow down speeds a lot. It might tinker around with the draft just a bit, but we'll have to see. Wind currently going southwest around 8 to 12 miles per hour, so it's fairly gusty out there out on the racetrack, but with us running a 1.5 mile, it shouldn't make a difference.
Yeah, if you're doing like a qualifying lap on a plate track and the wind's blowing in the direction of your car, that could really slow you down a bit, but a track like this shouldn't be as much of a big deal. So about 4 minutes left. We're getting closer to qualifying here. And I guess we need to find 4 more minutes of filler, but I don't know what to do.
Yeah, well, we might as well drag in a couple more people
into
the booth. And
let's
one
do
of
that.
those people, I'm very curious to see on their 2 cents on how they are treating this race car. Our former MaxspeedTV representative into the booth he goes. Benjamin, hey boy, you got a copy? Hey Benjamin, currently running 22nd to practice the number 15 machine. How is it like on the racetrack? Just trying to get used to these machines.
You aren't going to be able to pass whatsoever. This car, you can draft up to him, but you can't pass him. The dirty air is horrendous.
So what are you going to have to do to sort of avoid around that dirty air? Track position going to be a lot here for tonight?
Absolutely. I think we'll see a lot of people working with each other in the draft too, as far as like siding with the draft. And if you're left down on the bottom and everybody freight trains you on the top, you're going back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positions. So you're definitely going to want to get yourself into a line where you can just draft through and maybe get some spots, because otherwise you're not going anywhere tonight. Whoever qualifies on pole, good win.
Alright, about 10-4. That's Benjamin A. White in the number 15 machine, currently sitting 23rd in practice.
Thank you. We'll have fun up here.
Well, hopefully it's not that drastic.
Yeah, I hope so too.
If that's the case, I think that would kind of defeat the purpose of the next gen existing, because dirty air and like that's a pretty prevalent issue now with the current cup cars we have. So if that's the case with the next gen, oh boy. But hopefully that's not the case tonight. We'll see. Still to be determined. I mean, maybe that's an issue tonight, but as we run more races with these cars, they might fine tune them and make some updates, and maybe it won't be an issue in a few weeks from now. So this specific series, as much as it'll we intend it to be fun, it's also a test session to try to see where these might run better, where they might not run as well, how they're going to change over time. It's really more of a data collection for us, because we don't even know if we're going to run this for the Cup Series in the fall or the regular or the current Cup cars. So this will serve as a pretty important data, I guess, or it'll provide important data so we can make an informed decision. So it'll be fun, but it'll also serve a pretty important purpose.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, everybody's coming in here with a sort of a blind eye. You could treat this race like a super speedway, in fact, in which I wouldn't say it's all based down on luck, but you don't know what happens until it does. And I'm guessing everybody's just going to go with the same strategy of just trying to get used to everything and trying to find their own rhythm.
Still a minute left, so we're almost there. But yeah, I think we'll just be winging it for the most part. And I would be winging it up here. They'll probably be winging it on track, but hopefully it all turns out pretty well. But these cars were hyped up. People have been really excited to see what these things are going to look like, how they were going to drive, and with the amount of cooperation or the amount of partnerships that NASCAR and iRacing have had together to help develop these cars. And we saw the Chicago Street Course with the Pro Invitational last week. The fact that we even have these cars in the service already is incredible, with the fact that they were only revealed around a month ago.
Yeah, that's right. And that just tells you the partnership with iRacing and NASCAR itself. I mean, as soon as the next gen gets released, here they come just scanning the car straight out of the box. And not only that, just scanning the car itself, but getting all the data analysis and all the specs and everything else, coming down all the way to the tiny tidbit and such. So it should be interesting to see on how all these drivers will take advantage of what they have here on their hands. So we'll go ahead and transition ourselves into the qualifying session, and we'll go ahead and pull up the national anthem. So go ahead, rise out, remove your hats as we salute our nation's colors. If you're now just joining us here for tonight's Max Speed TV broadcast, welcome here for day number 1 out of 3 for the ACOG iRacing series. Gonna get set to go green, currently qualifying underway. Drivers taking their fastest 2 around the racetrack. We'll go ahead and pull up the standings here as they shuffle in and about. 36 drivers gonna hit the racetrack, so we won't have a last chance qualifier to spark off the night. But let's go ahead and dive into a bit of details about the triple challenge. And of course, here being day number 1, we're running the next gen here at Charlotte. Day number 2 going to be taking place tomorrow on a Saturday, in which the dirt late model will be put to the test at Lanier National Speedway, the dirt version, of course. And coming Sunday, the trucks are going to hit the super speedway at Talladega. The person with the most points at the end of it will win $50, and each winner will receive 10 as well. So, a bit of incentive to run toward the front.
Yeah, a bit of a unique challenge. We haven't really done anything like this before, where we've had points count for one championship while using multiple cars like this. Just, you know, the only thing we've really done that's similar is the Super Speedway series with the different cars, but we're running totally different cars at totally different tracks. So, you know, to really test how talented these guys are and how quickly they can adapt to, you know, different vehicles and different racing surfaces. So it should be a good one here over the next 3 nights. And about a minute and a half left here in qualifying. Dane Cruz currently on the top of the board there in the number 46. Dylan Basin and Dominic Cow virtually tied there for the second spot. And I'm sure with the LCQ not happening, I'm sure there's a collective sigh of relief from everybody in the session now they don't have to go through that.
Yep, that is right. And those drivers toward the back, I mean, the drivers who haven't even hit the racetrack, probably breathing a sigh of relief that, you know, they're going to be able to start toward the back. And but a few other drivers gonna join the session a bit later than usual. Now adding on Logan Clampett and Luke Peters to that list, and yeah, this list is starting to grow. So maybe toward the end, we might have an LCQ. I'm not really sure, but currently the driver count sits at 37.
Now about 35 seconds until I think entries are locked. So unless we get like 3 more people in the next 30 seconds, we're probably not going to need to have one. Dane's still on top of the board there with that 30.73. We'll see if anybody can top that here in these last handful of seconds, but for right now, that looks like it's going to be our pole lap here for tonight.
How about that for Dane Cruz in that number 46? I know he's definitely improved here. And Dylan Basin now, he's sitting second, and now I just noticed Basin's I rating is now 4,800. My goodness, he's definitely improved. But finally, we'll scoot ourselves into, looks like the warm-up, since we do skip the LCQ. I'm not sure if the admins are going to decide to skip this portion, but regardless, yeah, more time for drivers to get themselves back on the racetrack and get a few more laps tuned in, especially for those drivers who just tuned in through qualifying and just entered in. People like Logan Clampett, and they're going to be able to run a bit of laps here before we get going.
Yeah, and I think it was either Peter or Amir that mentioned that some of these guys here tonight are driving these cars for quite literally the very first time. So this warm-up session is extremely important, especially for them. You know, there are not a lot of people that, you know, can learn how to drive a car and get used to a car in just one practice session. So in a situation like this, every little minute that you can get the car on track is going to be valuable in terms of getting more used to how these things run. So I'm not surprised that the admins are not skipping this session, as we see Clampett right now topping the charts here in the warm-up. So we'll see what everybody does. I mean, I don't see anything in terms of adjustments, but, you know, just track time at this point can be crucial here for this race.
Yep, that's right. Some cool schemes being run on the racetrack as well. See this number 15 of Benjamin A. White. He's running a Clover scheme by the number 42 of Ross Chastain. Logan running his own 97 machine. Here on the racetrack right alongside him. See the 19 of Peter Kenny. He's also on that mix as well. Sir St. Clair running a Kyle Busch scheme. So already, even though this car has been released for I don't know how many months now, just 3.
I think about a month.
Yeah, just about a month. Already some nice and fine paint schemes being displayed on these race cars.
And I think Omar Diallo there in the 9, I think he's running the scheme that Ford used to reveal the car last month. So, and Brody Gardner there to the top. Glad to see him back racing again. And that's there's quite a few faster times than the lap that Dane Cruz set to win the pole. So it looks like the draft is definitely going to play a role here for tonight, as you see Connor Brandon and Justin Johnson getting laps down into the 29s when Dane, I think, had a 30.73. So we'll see how much the draft ends up playing into effect here as this race goes on.
I mean, you see right here, the number 92 of Connor Brandon. He's talked up to this number 22. I'm unsure who this is. It looks to be Malachi Drake in that number 22. But Connor just sniffing off the draft. That Malachi is just leaving right behind, and he goes toward the top of the charts as Brody is sniffing off of a couple of drivers right ahead of him. I'm not sure who that is. The 39 of Luke Peters and the 00 of Ryan Kendrick. So a few names and numbers that we got to get used to now that we're setting ourselves into a new season.
And new faces as well. I don't think Luke Peters has ever run a race here before. So good to see a couple of brand new drivers here for this race. Never a bad thing.
You mentioned about new drivers, and you see that R with a circle right next to their name. That signifies they're a rookie. Here's another rookie, this number 11, Julian Ricky, in the currently using P17 in practice right now. This number 11, running a podium machine. He is one of our rookies on the racetrack. Amir Page, who we just interviewed earlier, he's one of the rookies out on the racetrack. And Dane Cruz, for some reason, he is not a rookie. I know he's run multiple races.
Yeah, he's been around a while. We'll see if anybody else is, but you know, of course, there's still plenty of time this weekend. Looks like another one here. Richard Sprague Jr. in the 45, another first-time driver here for tonight, so good luck to him in his debut race. And I'm sure as this summer season goes on, we'll see more and more new faces start to race. And as we transition into the fall, you know, I'm really excited to see all the new talented drivers that we end up getting in here on top of the ones that have been here for a while. So it should be a really, really fun couple months ahead of us.
Yeah, that's right. New faces always a warm welcome here in the ACOG iRacing series. It should be interesting to see on if one of those rookies show themselves up well and be there toward the end. So gotta keep watch for all those drivers who are marked with an R right next to their name. All right,
I think
looks
we've
like
had a rookie champion before.
yeah, I think we've had one. I can't remember.
I'm
off
almost
the top of
certain
my
we've
head.
had one. Could we have another one? We'll find out soon enough. But that'll do it here for the warm-up. If you're just now joining us, welcome here to the Next Gen Shootout here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the inaugural race here for the ACOG iRacing Series, and the first of 3 nights for the Triple Challenge. As we get ourselves ready here to grid up for the start of the race, and we'll have the starting lineup on the bottom of your screen. And on the front row, 2 returning drivers here, Dane Cruz in the 46 and Dylan Basin in the 38.
Row number 2 going to consist of Dominic Howe and that number 86, Justin Johnson, right alongside of him.
Row number 3, Mitch Hobbs in the 89 and Benjamin A. White there in the 15.
Row number 4, Connor Brandon and that number 92, veteran in the league, also a veteran, that number 19, and Peter Kenny.
Yeah, Peter won the Daytona 250 in the Cup Series last season, so see how he does this year. Row 5, Joe Burgee in the 83 and Harry Grindle, our man across the pond, rounds out your top 10. Rest of the order will be shown on the bottom of your screen. Pick your favorite driver and hope they do well, or maybe even take the checkered flag here in the very first ACOG race. As we scroll further back here, back into the 20s, there's Amir Page, one of our rookies. He'll roll off 24th here for tonight. Logan Clampett, 26th. Then we'll see the last couple rows here. Here's Luke Peters, another one of our rookies, starting 31st tonight. And Henry Tabor looks like will be the 37th and final driver on the grid for tonight.
All 37 drivers hit the racetrack, so everybody all the way back to this number 24.
I don't think somebody's going.
Yeah, it takes a while for them
I think
to
someone
go.
stopped up there.
Because we're all starting sideways like that, but they gotta get themselves doubled up ASAP or else we're gonna have some problems. And Bergie's already spotted. What the heck?
Oh, jeez. Well, I don't think he's gonna be able to get that spot back. He's probably gonna have to drop to the rear for the start. So, not the start of the season that the 83 was looking for, but still, you know, we're not even a lap into the season yet, so maybe starting off on the wrong foot, but definitely not all bad yet. Still have 67 laps to redeem yourself, but we'll see if he retains his starting spot. And looks like somebody just blew the engine. I don't know who that is. I think that's Brody Gardner. And Richard Sprague Jr., I think he's supposed to be around there. But Brody looks like he's already blown the engine, so he'll be done for the night before it's even started. As the pace car gets its way down into pit road, Dane Cruz and Dylan Basin lead us to the green flag, and we're off and away here for the first ever ACOG race.
Work themselves into one. A lot of shuffling there inside this top 5. One car gets shoved all the way to the grass as Dominic Howe tries to cut off that number 89 of Hobbs. They work into one. 3 wide in the background as one car gets shoved up way against the barrier. Does it work off a 2?
Basin did not get a good start at all. That's the car with the blue hood there. He started in second, and somebody just went around out of turn 2 into the inside wall. More trouble down the backstretch. A couple cars end up involved in this one. Luke Peters, one of our rookies, collected in this one. William Schmidt in the 79. Colton Zimmer in the 6. All in some trouble here on just the first lap. And there's another car stopped further back there as well. So a bit of a rough start to the going here for these guys, and we'll get a look and see what brought out our first caution, and I think it might be that 50.
Ooh, looks like Klein got hooked by the 6.
Oh, nowhere for Schmidt to go in the 79, and he got run into again. Not sure who that red car is, but I saw the 50 got loose in the middle of 2. He hit the apron, they're right there. And that stacked up the bottom, and out of turn 2, you're going to see the 6 of Zimmer just get right into the back of him and takes a big hit to the inside wall. And I think there was contact after that between Zimmer and Peters that clogged up the track and took out the 79. There it is. Yeah, nothing Schmidt could do there at all.
Oh, Peters bounced off of Sertage, and that sparked off another.
Whoa, Bachman. We'll see who this red car is, too, that got into the back of William. Not sure who that is. And then there's Bachman, just gets clipped by the 39 of Peters. But looks like should be okay. And there's Brody still with the engine smoking. I'm not sure how he managed to do that, but still out there. So a bit of a rough start to the night, but hopefully not a sign of things to come.
See Cruz there, man who won the pole, currently leading laps right now. Pit road, I wouldn't say necessarily busy. Everybody, or actually it is fairly busy. A lot of drivers on pit road from, I'd say, 30th on back.
A lot of them with damage too.
Yeah, there's Henry Tabor. Man,
okay, that's the red car I saw that got into William Schmidt. So that mystery has been solved. So rough start to the night for him as well.
Yeah,
looks like he'll be back on track, but he'll probably be down quite a bit by way of RPM. And there's Klein. You see the front end damage to his car as well. Darius Reza Dadgar, he's coming off pit road. Sartaj Mann coming off pit road. You see the damage to the right side of his car. So I think after Peters bounced off of him, he might have hit the outside wall trying to gather it up. But pace lights are off, so you've gotten the 1 to green signal here. And hopefully Dane will get behind the pace car.
Not really sure what Brody Gardner was doing there in that number 55, but some movers are in and around.
I don't know if that's a glitch where it's showing a blown motor for us, but it's not actually blown. I'm not really sure, but
yeah. So looks like Dane stayed where he's been. Hobbs is probably going to start in the inside after Brody gets out of the way. Biggest mover as of right now, not counting Brody, seems to be backwards. So number 38 has gone the opposite direction.
yeah, he got a pretty poor restart. Started in second, but lost quite a few spots. Now in 10th, so still plenty of time to get those back. But pace car will get itself off the track, and we'll see if this is a glitch with the smoke or not. But
Green flag, green flag.
we'll get back green, and Brody will pull off to the side. So indeed there is. That is a damaged engine, but he'll get out of harm's way, thankfully. And we are back underway here with 64 laps remaining as Benjamin A. White gets himself up into second place, right behind our race leader, Dane Cruz.
Look at the blocking going down the back straightaway as the cars scramble 2, 3 wide toward the back, 3 wide and a 3 all the way against the barrier. That's a 70 of Grindle trying to make something happen on the high side.
That's going to be close out of turn 4. Richard Sprague Jr. in the 45, right in the middle of a 3 wide battle, around 10th or 12th place. In the middle of Harry Grindle, and I believe the 51 is Sawyer St. Clair. He'll file up onto the high side as Benjamin A. White takes the race lead for the first time in tonight's race.
How about Benjamin to the front and Connor gets spun!
Oh! And there's Connor. Brandon takes a big hit to the inside wall, and another car gets spun at the tail end of that. We'll see who that is, as I think that's Sartaj Mount in the 49, also involved in that in the second caution of the night out here on lap number 6, involving Connor, Brandon, and I'm not sure who that other blue car was. But looks like maybe the exit of turn 2 might be the trouble spot here tonight. And the other car involved, the 90 of Jeremiah Bethune. See what happened this time. I think Connor got turned. Oh, we got loose.
He might have gotten turned.
I think he might have gotten loose above basement, and there's contact between Bethune and Sartaj. Maybe Connor had help from the car behind him. We'll have to get another look at this, but I think he might have gotten tapped. That's Justin Johnson right behind him. And I think he did. And contact with Basin and nowhere for the 38 to go as Connor bounces off the inside wall, and then further up, Bethune and Sartaj make contact, and that puts Bethune to the inside wall. So we'll get a look at that as well here.
Bethune was sort of getting sandwiched as Casey washed up the racetrack and sort of pinballed into Sertage, and Jeremiah basically victim of circumstances, just trying to avoid around the 92, and unfortunately he was the one who spun.
Yeah, that one was really no one's fault, because of course if Casey didn't move up to avoid Connor, he would have ended up plowing right into him, and that would have made things worse. So unfortunately, Sertage and Jeremiah victim of circumstances there, but definitely cannot blame Casey for trying to avoid the spinning car. So 2 early yellows here have taken a couple people out of contention already, unfortunately. But still, you know, quite a bit of time for things to get turned the right way. But, you know, I don't know if I'm surprised that this is happening, but, you know, I don't know if we can view it in a negative light, because, of course, these are still brand new cars. A lot of these guys still aren't really used to driving these yet, so there's bound to be, you know, some incidents that we might typically label stupid, but when you're trying to learn a new car, you know, it's just part of the learning process.
Yeah, it's just bound to happen, and especially in a sprint race like this. I mean, I wouldn't say a 67 lap is a sprint race, but it's a fairly short race. It's only, I'd say, 125 miles, so everybody just trying to get the best of what they can off of restarts. I mean, there are 3 wide heading in turns 1 and 2. So still a long ways to go. And how about this for the number 15 of Benjamin A. White, taking himself to the front, and here he is leading laps. Of course, knowing him as the guy up in the booth on Saturday nights, and now here he is on the racetrack, logging himself laps led.
Yeah, I think Benjamin plans to race more often, which I think is good for all of us. I mean, never a bad thing for another, you know, talented driver to be out on the racetrack on a more consistent basis. We'll see if he ends up in the booth tomorrow, though, because, of course, you know, right now it's a vacant spot, because I'll be at SRX tomorrow, and I'm really excited for that. So hopefully either Benjamin or somebody else will come up here. But for right now, at 15, sitting pretty up there, leading this field under caution.
Yeah, how about that? I'd say he's a rookie, but still
He's
fairly new.
He had some solid runs last season, too, especially towards the end of the year. Didn't always end up finishing where he was running, but, you know, the talent's definitely there. Mitch Hobbs, another one of those guys where he had a couple of really stellar runs last season, but, you know, ended up not finishing there either by, you know, some kind of mistake or just, you know, unavoidable incidents. But I think both of these guys in this top 2, I think, are probably going to be due for victories at some point over the summer or into the fall. And Mitch especially, if anyone remembers, he won the Super Speedway Series title last summer and didn't even win a race. So sometimes consistency is key, but we'll see if we can put it together and get a checkered flag here at some point.
Try it again, as we'll hit the green on lap number 10 at a 67. Benjamin A. White in that number 15. Can he do up front?
Apparently there may have been some contact between Sawyer St. Clair and Logan Clampett under yellow, and I think that's why we saw the 97 on pit road while we were pacing on the front stretch. So we'll have to gather some intel about that, but hearing from the chat, that may have been what occurred. So tough break for both of those guys, but we'll get ourselves ready to go back green here once again, here on lap number 11 with Benjamin A. White. He'll lead us to the green.
So it's Benjamin, Mitch, Peter, Dominic, and Justin who are going to be the top 5 leading this to the green. And how about Diallo in that number 9? He's also peeking inside this top 5, currently sitting 6th. What can you do off the restart as Benjamin hits the throttle? Back out of the way here at Charlotte. One driver does not get going. That'd be the 99.
You see how quickly Mitch found himself down to the bottom to secure that second spot. And he gets turned right there by the 86 of Dominic Howe. And this is going to take quite a few people out in a huge hit as Mitch gets clobbered. They're still wrecking out of 2. They're still wrecking in turn 2. And they're still piling him up all over the place down the backstretch. And oh man, at least 8, 9, 10 cars all collected in this one. And it started with Mitch Hobbs getting hooked by the 86, and pretty much everybody ended up in that one.
Oh my goodness, off of a restart too. Everybody's all grouped up together and Mitch tried to make an aggressive move, and unfortunately for him, he paid the price. And not only did he pay the price, half the field
A lot of people
was the
paid the price. Oh, he came up and I think he tried to come back down and just wasn't clear to. And there's, ooh, that's the big hit I saw. We'll see if anybody else got him back here. Looks like Matthew Klein did, and then that's where a couple more people ended up piling in. But man, that was a huge hit for Mitch and whoever the 99 is. I'm not sure who's in that car. There's Casey Drake making his way through that. But man, that one was, woof.
Yeah, McDowell coming in with a head of steam right into the backside of that car, and around went the 99. Look at all these other drivers piling in.
There's Dadgar in the 842. He's in this, and there was more down the backstretch. This was after the initial incident. There's Peter Kenny, the 19. He's around as well, so we'll see how this started. Because there's Mitch in the 89. He was the first car around, but then they were wrecking some more out of turn 2. Like, I don't know what this was. I think that's Dominic and Peter, and Peter just doesn't hold the brake at all right there. And comes back up, and somebody else hits him. There's Bundred in the 37. So just an all-around mess right there. There's another car. I think that's Grindle also ended up.
Oh, there you go. Omar
okay,
was
that's
sliding.
what it was.
Omar
Yeah,
was
Diallo
sliding
got
here.
clipped by Mitch, and he came down the track, and Peter tried to miss him, and I think Dominic was already there. So 10, 15 cars all end up bunched up in that one. Man.
And that was Sertaj Mon, the 19, who got hit. And another yellow. Now, all benefits for that number 15, Benjamin A. White. He likes seeing this. I mean, keeping himself up front.
Less opportunities that people have to pass them.
That's right, and the only opportunity these people would have is off of pit road. So, of course, we haven't really...
longer run, too.
That's right. So we haven't really discussed about our fuel window yet, but it is 75% fuel. So I'm assuming on a 100% tank, you can't last 67 laps. So slice that into 3/4. Well, there you go. I presume it might be a 2-stop race. It would be. I wouldn't say it would be close to be a 2-stop race, but with all these cautions, it's definitely going to be a 1-stop race.
Yeah, if we keep having incidents like this, it's gonna probably eliminate an entire pit stop. So hopefully we don't have any more yellows, but definitely trending that way here to start off the night.
And we talk about pit road as well. We'll pull up the pit panel here on the right-hand side. Where these drivers, who has pitted and who hasn't. So this entire top 11 have stayed themselves out on the racetrack, and everybody from 12th on down, they've hit pit road. So I guess for these drivers right here, they don't have to come in for fuel, I guess, for one less time. So unfortunately for Bachman, who's sitting in 11th spot, has a bit of right side damage to accompany him for the rest of this run. We'll have to see on how this will all go.
Yeah, Bachman got clipped at the end of one of the, I believe it was a second incident we had. But looks like it's not too bad. We should get the 1 to green this time, as the field will start to double up again. Benjamin A. White sitting pretty here, up at the front. Justin Johnson now into second place after the mistake there by Mitch Hobbs, who ran there. Richard Sprague Jr., one of our rookies, now up into third there in the 45. Good showing for him so far here tonight. Ryan Kendrick, always a competitor, or one of a perennial championship contender, I'll put it that way, sitting there in fourth. And Sawyer St. Clair right now in fifth. So very interesting top five we have here on lap 15.
That's right. For Ryan Kendrick in that 0-0, I mean, he does have a championship on his resume off of iScar. So the Xfinity Series won it over Derek M. Smith by just over a car length, and now he is running in fourth. And we talk about rookies as well. How about Richard Sprague Jr.? He's sitting in third as of right now. He started all the way back in 12th and is slowly reeling himself forward out of the backside of Benjamin. He's going to be in prime position to gun for the lead.
Yeah, I thought Mitch Hobbs had a good chance as well, but unfortunately came down on Dominic Howard he wasn't cleared to and wadded up all those cars. Hopefully we don't see that happen again, as the pace car will get itself down onto pit road. Benjamin A. White and Justin Johnson lead us back to the green, and hopefully we can stay green for an extended time here.
Green, and Benjamin gets a nice jump over the top two right behind, and that's Richard Sprague Jr. and Justin Johnson, who goes side by side, 3 wide into 1, and that was close between the 72 of, looks like that was Keloa Hankins, the 51 of Sawyer St. Clair to keep themselves out of harm's way, but Benjamin A. White in that number 15, he's trying to break the draft.
Yeah, and it was a good move by Richard Sprague there into turn 1 to get himself underneath the 33, and for right now up into second place. So good job there for the 45, and into the outside wall goes the 33 of Justin Johnson. Second restart in a row that the second place car has had an issue on the first lap off the restart. So he'll have to make that ground up once again, as we're 3 wide again here into turn 1. It looks like Justin's gotten it gathered up, albeit with a loss of track position.
That's unfortunate to him, and here comes a man we really don't talk about. That number 4 of Dejani, 3 wide right behind as Menchu scoops himself downstairs. And
where'd he come from?
Where did he come from? That's right.
Menchu and Dejani, the both of them, having pretty good runs so far, as there's Kendrick to the back bumper of the 45 of Sprague, as all of them try to catch that 15 of Benjamin White, still out front here on lap 18. As the field makes their way out of 2. Side by side there for P7 briefly, but Aaron Brown will get that spot from the 51 of Sawyer St. Clair, who's now under attack from the 38 of Basin, trying to make that high side work.
That high side's working in that number 38's favor. He was trying to drag William Schmidt, who's unfortunately damaged. You see a lot of battling right in front. That's Menchu, who's going to peek downstairs. Kendrick, we'll see if he can take the run anywhere, but looks like up front, bound for the lead. Here comes Sprague.
Yeah, Menchu already got by Dejani. Now he's trying to get by, I believe, the 0-0 of Kendrick. And into turn 3, Benjamin shuts the door on Sprague, who had a good run going into the turn. But out of 4, the 15 will lead again, as Hankins up to 3rd, trying to get by both of these guys.
How about this rookie showing up here in 2nd spot as Keloa Hankins, the man who's finally on his wheel, sits in 3rd.
Took him long enough.
That's right. This whole entire top 3 do not have any wins based off of iScar results, and here they are in prime position to pick up their first.
I think, let's see, Kendrick, Menchu, Basin, and Schmidt. Those are the 4 in the top 10 with a win. The other 6 right now have never won an iScar event, so could be in prime position to maybe see a first-time winner here in tonight's race. And speaking of Kendrick, he'll drop a spot here to Ibrahim Dejani. That is for 4th.
Dejani, oh, the 69 of Menchu was trying to fling it downstairs. Looks like the door was shut into 3. But looks like it didn't work out for him. Here comes Hankins now downstairs. He's going to work himself down low, and for 2nd spot, Hankins to 2nd.
Good move there for the 72. Puts him in front of Sprague here into turn 1. Hasn't quite been able to clear yet, and here comes the 45 in contact between the both of them, and that's going to put the 45 into the wall, and around goes Dejani, around goes Kendrick. The 0-0's going to come back up the track, and Dejani goes hard into the outside wall, and that's going to collect even more people back there. And just like that, Ibrahim Dejani's stellar run comes to a crashing end in turn 2.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That sucks.
Oh,
We were
man.
just giving him compliments, and unfortunately stuck in a bad situation as the 45 flung it into the outside barrier. Not of his own fault, though.
Yeah, there was contact between the 45 and the 72. I think right there, Kiloa got the apron, bounced up into the 45, and he's trying to gather it up, but got the wall. And there's Kendrick and Dejani, both 00 saves it, and then here comes Dejani back up into the outside wall, and he got clobbered. I don't know who that was, but man, he got run over. And his night's for sure over. We'll have to see who the car that got into the 4 was, because that was huge. You'll see him right there. There's Kendrick spinning back down to the bottom. And we'll see if we can figure out who it was that hit the 4, because that was a massive hit. There he goes, and then... Oh, Casey Drake. Nowhere to go. And looks like the whole field is going to come down pit road. Oh, or almost everybody. Looks like Benjamin, Wright, and Menchu stay out along with a couple others, but the majority of the field down onto pit road here for the first time tonight. So we'll see if this is the only stop they have to make, or if they're going to have to pit for fuel later on in the night.
We'll just have to see. Still a lot of drivers on pit road, and it's about, I'd say, everybody from 7th on back gonna snag themselves onto pit road for the first time. And we do have a bit of, I wouldn't say miscommunication, but I'm about to say miscommunication, but do have a bit of an offset in this cycle. This top 3 have all stayed themselves out on the racetrack. Now you scroll yourselves back all the way to 4th, the first person with tires. And after that, it's not a far ways back to see the drivers who just slapped on tires recently. So, interested to see on what Basin could do versus the drivers right behind. These drivers who pitted 15 laps ago are going to be in an interesting situation. They're going to be trying to gun for the top spot, but at the same time, they need to watch out for the drivers who are on fresh rubber. So they're sort of multitasking here. If you're that number 38 or that number 87. For Benjamin A. White, though, he's led the most laps with currently 20 out on the board, and now eventually he's going to scoot himself into 2nd spot.
Well, leading the most laps doesn't always, mean that much. Of course, you could lead every single lap except for the last one, and in theory, you could lead every lap except for the last one and then finish dead last. So, for right now, good for him up there, but, I'm sure he'd rather lead just the last lap than lead all of these and not end up winning the race. But we'll see if he can keep himself up there for the rest of the night and maybe pick up that elusive first win.
Yeah, we'll see if those laps led translates into a W. We still have multiple laps to go, only 25 into the book out of the 67 that are scheduled on the racetrack. Still yet to cross that halfway point as well, so... speaking of that halfway point, if we do see a caution around there, I'd expect these drivers to finally hit pit road for the first time, but I've yet to see them snag on 4 as one to go at the line.
Now, the halfway point will be around lap 33-34. So yeah, if we do see a caution, maybe around 30-31, I would expect pretty much everybody out on track to come down pit road. So we'll see if we can maybe get a good run in, or if we'll have another caution that'll enable these guys to get themselves good to the end on fuel.
Dylan Basin, I just mentioned how he was the first driver on the not on the freshest tires, but the first driver on some kind of fresher tires than the leaders are. who have yet to hit pit road. He's on 17 laps out on the racetrack, but unfortunately for him, he has a bit of damage. The driver's right behind. Dominic, 12 laps on the racetrack. Casey is 17 as well, but you'll only have to scroll 7 spots back of where the leader is to find the first driver on freshest tires, and that's the 9 of Omar Diallo. We'll see what Omar could do as he scoots himself through the field from 7th.
And you see the damage he has. That's from the incident with Mitch Hobbs where he got clipped in the middle of 2. So now we're getting to the point where even some guys in the top 10, there's quite a few that have some degree of damage. So this could end up becoming a race of attrition not too long from now.
Green flag.
Green, green, green.
Benjamin nails the throttle. Menchu fills the gap of where the 18 wanted to go. And that's the 2nd spot. They're going to go side by side for 3rd as a bit of contact right behind Casey Drake and I think Dominic Howe. Bumper banging into turn number 1 as they go side by side for 3rd. Here comes Basin on the high side.
Looks like Basin's blinking a little bit as Benjamin and Menchu playing a little drafting game here down the backstretch, but this is going to work out in Menchu's favor as Benjamin blocked one too many times. And here comes Menchu down to the bottom trying to get that race lead away. Can't quite do it, but definitely right there and able to contend for it.
Yeah, I was about to say, Benjamin opened up the door for Menchu as he swung back to the high side, but luckily for him, that run really progressed him out forward. Speaking of runs, one being mounted to the high side, that's Basin trying to make something happen as Jackson Menchu's trying to hold off a field right behind him.
Just about blocked the 18 of Aaron Brown into the outside wall. Couldn't get any closer than that. And here comes Menchu. He's going to get split 3 wide out of turn 4. I think he might be on older tires there. And just like that, went from contending for the race lead, now probably going to fall out of the top 10. So he'll definitely need a caution to get fresh tires on that car. And here comes Dominic Howe into 2nd, and Omar Diallo now up into the 3rd spot.
Yeah, we mentioned about Omar Diallo, the man on freshest tires, but Dominic Howe has 15. He's been on his tires for 15 laps. Benjamin A. White, 30 laps on his tires as we're spread out. Everybody either against the wall
Kicks
or
in
the
the
yellow.
wall.
Oh!
Keep it up there, keep it up there. As the 87 scraped the wall twice there, but looks like he'll be able to hold on. But my fear there was he'd maybe come back down the way the 45 did earlier, as Omar Diallo now up into the race lead on those fresher tires. And here comes Schmidt looking for 2nd as they're going to go 3 wide for the runner-up spot here down the backstretch.
How about Schmidt out of nowhere? He shoves himself to the bottom.
And that's Malachi Drake in the 22, now up into 3rd. That was a huge run that the 79 and the 22 got down the backstretch. And they'll try to hold on into 1 as Benjamin trying to hold on now on those older tires. But the longer this run goes, the further he's going to fall back.
How about Schmidt? He's damaged. He's, down on RPM probably, but luckily
So
for
is
him,
Diallo.
those fresher tires have reeled him forward, and he's sitting in 2nd.
Yeah, both of the top 2 have some degree of damage to their race cars, but, they're still up there, and they're doing pretty well, so we'll see how long they can stay themselves up there. And here comes Malachi looking for that 2nd spot, and he'll get it. And looks like Hankins will get 3rd. As Aaron Brown's going to save it, and we'll see if that other car can.
What a save! That was Max Yarrick in the 10!
That was really impressive. And for the lead, here comes Malachi Drake on Omar Diallo. I cannot believe Urich saved that race car, but he does, albeit the loss of track position, as Omar will fend off the 22 for now. But, man, we might have a save of the season candidate in our very first race.
That's right. And you see right here, the damage on that number 9 is really starting to hinder him. I wouldn't say hinder him too much. He's still sitting up front, but that 22 of Malachi Drake is all over him. Look at this mess right behind.
Hankins up to 3rd again as well.
They're still all over each other back here.
There's Dane Cruz in the black and yellow 46, trying to make his way back up into the top 5 after winning the pole for tonight's race. As you go on board here with the 22, down the backstretch, we'll see if he can make a move into 3 on the 9. He'll dive down to the bottom, and Hankins will go with him, but the caution is out, and I believe Diallo is still up front. And we'll get a look and see what happened here, and it looks like Jackson Menchu and David Bachman in some trouble here in the entrance of turn 3.
that's unfortunate for that number 84. And,
Ooh,
oh, man.
What was this?
So, yeah, this is what I was talking about. This big old pack right here. It looks like driver's looking in. Oh, looks like...
Oh, they got pinched.
Yeah, I think that was Justin Johnson looking for some room.
Oh, nowhere to go for Amir Page in the 25, and then there's Menchu. So I think Johnson was going to try to make a move to the bottom of Aaron Brown, but maybe didn't know there was already a car there and just doored him, I guess. We'll have to get another look at this here. So the 33 comes up on a much slower Aaron Brown, and I think he sees a gap, but Dominic Cow had already filled it. And him, Dane Cruz, Bachman, and then there's the 25 of Amir Page, all get collected, and these guys are all battling, I think, around 9th to 12th place. So there was some good cars in this mix.
You called it right. I mean, it does look like the 33 was just trying to find a hole in line, but unfortunately it just didn't work out to him. But in the meantime of that, cars are scooting themselves onto pit road, and one of those cars is Benjamin A. White.
Yeah, and that's the caution that Benjamin White really needed. And I mean, it's the caution that Menchu needed, but unfortunately he ended up in the wreck, so didn't quite work out that well for him, as Diallo staying out is going to work out for him because now all of these guys in the top 10 are going to be on the same tires, but we've also got a couple of drivers staying out. Malachi Drake, Kiloa Hankins, William Schmidt, Matthew Klein, and Harry Grindle. All 5 of them staying out here for the restart, but Diallo on back looks like are all going to be on the same tires and should be good to go on fuel to the end of the race.
Yeah, we're past halfway now, so I'm pretty sure these drivers could make it from this point forward. And now securing themselves all the way to the end, and it seems as though small bits of damage doesn't really affect your car as much as I thought. I mean, we knew that 9 of Omar Diallo had a bit of damage. There he is. That back end sort of crinkled in, and you could also see another driver that we were talking about earlier, that number 79 of William Schmidt. He too is damaged. I mean, look at his machine. It's all beaten and battered, both ends of his car, but
that's your 3rd place car right now, yeah. But I think that was part of the point of the next gen as well, is that, you know, one wreck may not necessarily take you completely out of the running, so I guess a switch to a more composite body, and we'll see how well that translates over to the real life side of things come next year.
And again, this is just a baseline of what we're going to see coming next week once we do initiate round 1 at Auto Club. If you're not following up with ACOG, of course, now with the summer series, we're going to be running 3 series. One of them going to be this car at, I think the schedule goes Auto Club. I'm going to pull it up real quick. But it's going to be Auto Club, Atlanta, Martinsville, Homestead, Kansas, then Dega. So, 1 super speedway, a few 1.5 milers, a D-oval, and a short track. So, it should be interesting to see on how it'll all turn out once we do go to those racetracks finally.
Yeah, and like we were saying earlier, I mean, they're still going to be updating these cars, so, you know, the way these things drive right now may not be the same that they drive once we get to those future races, so, you know, once we get there, it might be like driving an entirely different car that looks exactly the same. So, that I think the next gen series, for that reason, is going to be the most interesting one, because we really don't know how this car is going to change. So we'll get ourselves ready to go here. I believe we're coming up to 29 to go at the line. Malachi Drake out front here. Kiloa Hankins in 2nd, Schmidt 3rd, and Klein 4th. So one of the cars that stayed out hit pit road, but the top 4 on older tires. Diallo in 5th, the first car on fresh tires. So we'll see how quickly he can try to navigate his way around these top 4, as well as Benjamin White and everybody else behind them.
All right. Try it again. Go green here. As Malachi Drake, the number 22, will lead the field to the charge. It's Kealoha Hankins in the 72 alongside of him. The 79 of William Schmidt right behind. Matthew Klein's going to be starting at 4th, so that's good. That should be interesting to see on what he could do. He's the last person on old tires. Pace car scoots itself on in. Malachi Drake has the option to hit the throttle anytime. He'll hit it now, and up and away we go.
And you see the 50 with that damage got a pretty slow restart, and Basin's going to split him 3 wide along with Benjamin White. And the 30 will easily get that spot as Klein's going to try to get out of the way, but Menchu's already there. And they're going to go 4 wide into 1, and that's what I feared was going to happen. But despite the contact between Klein and Richard Sprague Jr., they look like they're all good. But that was the fear I had in those guys staying out on older tires, was that trying to get out of the way, you might run into somebody else. But thankfully, it wasn't any worse, but that's going to be a problem as Dylan Basin and another car end up collected out of 4. Sprague hits the wall as an overreaction to try to miss Hankins, and he's going to spin down into the infield grass. And a big mess here into 1, but it looks like we're going to stay green, and that's a tough break for the 45, who was running really, really well earlier. And here comes Diallo trying to get the lead back from Malachi.
Malachi couldn't do anything about that. I mean, Omar is on fresher tires, but look who he's
back
dragged with him.
Here they go, and at the line, it's going to be... Man, I don't even know who got that.
Caution is out.
Yeah, but the caution is out. And I don't know if this is an admin caution for the previous incident or if this is a new one. But Matthew Klein is destroyed on pit road, and it looks like he is indeed. And... Okay.
Not really sure what to call that one. I saw Matthew
Yeah.
Klein off of 2.
I don't know
if he's trying to get out of the way, but...
I think he might have been, and Amir just... They think they might have just went to the same bit of track there, as Grindle ends up getting a piece of that as well. But needless to say, Klein's night's probably going to be over here. But I'm not really sure how to call that one.
Yeah,
That's the only thing I could think of, though.
I want to say that's a caution that didn't want to happen for Omar and Benjamin. They were the fastest drivers out on the racetrack, and now another caution upon them is gonna, I wouldn't say reset some things, but it's a lifesaver for Malachi and William Schmidt, the drivers on old tires. But I think
I don't even know who's out front, though.
Yeah, I think it'll be Diallo.
That was close. Might be if it's Diallo, then if Diallo was out front at the time of the caution, that's going to benefit the 15 as well, because then Diallo can pick the bottom and Benjamin can try to time the restart with him.
Wow, Malachi stays out. I'm surprised about that.
And looks like not a lot of people are. He might be the only one that had previously stayed out, as Schmidt leads the pack of cars back down pit road again. I don't even know if Malachi is good on fuel to the end, because I don't remember when the last time he pit was.
20 laps ago. So
That'd be a 45, 44, something like that. Mid-40s fuel run. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough to make it to the end, but it'll be close.
This caution's saving him, though. He's going to be able to save a bit of fuel under this yellow, but man,
Agreed.
talking tire-wise, he has very old tires compared to Omar, so for Malachi in track position, he has to be up front, in front of that number 9 to make it work. But unfortunately for him, it's not going that way, and even though he's in second, we'll see if he could get some kind of jump or get something rolling off the restart if he got to push right behind. But for right now, Malachi track position wise, it's looking unhealthy. That's why I sort of found it a bit surprising that he didn't hit pit road, especially with this old of tires. So, and with the amount of people who pitted right behind, you only have to scroll all the way back to 8th spot, so he would have only lost 5-6 spots compared to what might be over 10, staying up there with these old tires. So it'll be interesting to see on how Malachi Drake is gonna gonna attack with this strategy.
Don't really know how much he can, given that he's on older tires. I mean, he'll have a decent shot maybe on a short run, but, you know, if it goes green from here on out, I don't see him staying up there very long. Because he'll probably have to burn up even more rubber trying to even stay up there. And with him already being on older tires, I don't know how long he can sustain that. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. In terms of people who are probably going to be in contention to win, man, I don't see anybody getting by Omar Diallo. You know how good he is in clean air. Once that 9 gets up front, it's going to be hard to pass him. And unless if we have some sort of caution that were to come out, and that could throw people off their game. And we still have 24 laps to go. It's not like 6 laps to go, not like a sprint or anything like that. So those drivers right behind who are sitting on their freshest tires, for Peter, Kenny, and everybody right behind, they still have a shot. But I mean, for Peter's case, he's a bit damaged, as well as William. I don't know who's the next non-damaged car off of this pack. I mean, everybody in here has some sort of bump or scrape. So it might be Benjamin A. White, the only person who could really challenge up for that spot, or Aaron Brown. We'll just have to see, though.
Yeah, and unlike Diallo, despite the two of them being on the same tires, Benjamin doesn't have any damage, while Diallo has some left rear damage, but it doesn't seem to be affecting the 9 that much. So it'll be interesting. I agree that I think the 15 has the best shot to win, but you know, the 9 is definitely not one to sleep on, especially now that he's up there.
Yeah, that's right. And you heard through Benjamin's interview, clean air is going to be in a lot. So, in track position right now for Benjamin, it's not working out to his favor. The only thing that can work out is via pit road. So, if we get another late caution, how many tire sets does everybody else have? And will they do the bet on pit road and just get themselves forward? We'll just have to see.
Well, see, I don't even know if somebody would take the gamble to pit that late in a run, because you heard Benjamin earlier. You know, track position's gonna be huge, and we're only have about 20 laps to go. And with the way this race has gone in terms of the frequency of cautions, if you take a gamble and you pit for fresh tires, if we keep having only 2-3 lap runs, I mean, that's nowhere near enough time to try to gain those spots back. So, is the risk worth the reward at this point?
We'll just have to see. Pace car's going to scoot itself down on pit road. Green on 46. As Omar Diallo, this number 9, tries to pull away from the drivers right behind. 69 already trying to peek out to the high side. That's Jackson Menchu trying to make it 3 wide. Looks like it's not going to work to his advantage, though. We're stacked up all over the place. This is going to be messy into 1.
Yeah, Diallo waited to go that time, and of course that's well within his right to do, but hopefully it doesn't create a messy situation back here. But they're 3x3 here in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Hopefully they keep it going. They're good for right now. But will they keep it that way into 3? As here comes Benjamin trying to get the lead away.
Benjamin now tucked up to the backside. There's still 3x3 right behind.
Oh, that's so close. Oh! And Kenny holds on to it, thankfully. But Dane Cruz gets hooked by him into the outside wall. We're going to stay green. But a tough break there for the 46 is probably going to take him out of contention tonight, as I think he just got spun across Peter's nose while he tried to gather it up. As Malachi Drake still right now holding on to 3rd, but you see those top 2 starting to pull away from the rest of the field.
Benjamin's there. He's knocking on the door. How will he pass Omar Diallo in this number 9? Oh, looks like he got some sort of a run, but looks like Omar's going to cut him up, or at least try to.
Here he goes. He's got a shot as Aaron Brown takes over 3rd from Malachi Drake. Almost contact between our 2 leaders, as Benjamin White has the nose on Diallo into 1, but the inside being as prevalent as it is, Diallo will get back out front. But who will Aaron Brown go with?
Nobody!
Neither of them is going to take a 3, and here comes Aaron Brown trying to go 2 for 1 here. As he's going to get into Benjamin! And in around goes the 15 just as he got the lead, and he gets clobbered by Schmidt. And the caution is back out. Oh, man.
Oh my gosh!
He worked so hard to get the lead away from Omar Diallo, and as soon as he did, Aaron Brown got loose under him, and he ended up getting clocked by the 79 out of 4. And he just washes up right there and clips the 15. And he had it locked down, and ooh, Schmidt just couldn't get out of the way fast enough. And I think those are the only 2 cars involved in it.
Oh, that's
but out
a
of all of that,
shame.
that's gonna put Sawyer St. Clair up into 2nd place.
I thought Benjamin had it locked down, honestly. He got in front of the 9 somehow, but Aaron Brown just sent it into 3. He had such a monster run once Benjamin and Omar got side by side, and he took the chance. Unfortunately, he got tight.
Had a huge run, and unfortunately just got tight or loose or something, but washed up into the 15 and just barely got into it, but it was enough to turn him around. So Benjamin White had the race lead for about 3.5 seconds, but unfortunately now sits on pit road with a good amount of damage. So Aaron Brown, Sawyer St. Clair now the top 2, Diallo in 3rd, Bethune 4th, and Dominic Cow round out your top 5. And there's the 15 getting some repairs, but man, a tough break for that 15 for sure.
Alright, now with Aaron Brown up front, we sort of have a different game now in terms of tires. So take a look at the stint panel. Top 4 all have older tires, and it's going to be Dominic Howe, the man with damage, is going to be sitting in a pretty spot in 5th. Then it's Julian Ricky.
How did he get up there?
How did he get up there? Where did he come from? He's sitting in 6th.
He must have avoided the wreck. As you see, Bachman in 7th as well. Amir Page is 8th. Kendricks 9th. And Basin in 10th. So, quite the interesting collection of cars you've got up here in the top 10. And you see the damage on the 25. He's been involved in a couple wrecks tonight, but he's up there now. And actually, a lot of cars up here have quite a bit of damage. You see the damage to the 00 as well, to the 84. I think the 11 hasn't been involved in anything yet tonight. 86 has been in a wreck or 2.
Yeah, so in terms of clean cars, the drivers who've stayed themselves out all have clean cars, but the drivers who are damaged all have tires. So now the question is, for all these drivers who have tires now, how bad is the damage going to hinder them, and can they work themselves to the front?
Man.
Oh man, it's been hectic from start to finish, and it might be even more than that. I just feel so bad for Benjamin.
Yeah. I mean, like we said, he worked so hard to finally get around the 9, and not even 5 seconds after he got by him, he ended up getting turned. Tough deal all around, as we'll get the one to go this time. So Aaron Brown and Sawyer St. Clair will be the front row for the restart. Diallo sitting in 3rd. Malachi Drake in... Well, actually, I think he pit. I don't even see him up here anymore. But Bethune is 4th. And 5th place, I believe, is Julian Ritchie in the 11th. So I think Malachi did finally come down pit road. So he must not have been good on fuel. And Dominic is actually 5th. So an interesting top 5 here. We'll see who comes out on top as we go green with 15 to go.
First one with the freshest tires is going to be the 22 of Malachi. He is all the way jammed in 9th. And 10-lap older tires is 5th all the way to 8th. That's Dominic Howe all the way to Amir Page. The oldest tires, of course, all filtering to the front off of this caution. It's Aaron Brown, Sawyer St. Clair, and Omar Diallo. All eyes on this number 9 of Omar, though. How could he fend off the drivers with fresh tires and work himself to the front? Here we go. And can they hold their breath for 15 laps? We'll have to see. Pace car's in.
Can they make it 15 laps? Time to find out. Back underway here, hopefully for the last restart of the night, as Diallo will take advantage of the early start for Aaron Brown, and he'll take over the second spot from Sawyer St. Clair. And we'll see if Diallo can try to get the lead back from that 18.
He's already sniffing up a huge draft. Aaron Brown's going to play a block.
Here he goes.
Looks like he can't block down low.
And here comes Diallo, and looks like St. Clair's going to try to follow him down there. But Diallo will clear out of 4, so put the 9 back up front. And here comes the 51 looking for second place, as Aaron Brown's going to lose another spot here. And Dominic Howell right behind him as well. So we'll see if the 9 can try to fend off the rest of these guys for 14 laps and score another victory here in ACOG.
We'll just have to see, though. He's in prime position to win it. The driver now we're going to watch for is this number 86 of Dominic Howell. He's the driver who has the freshest tires, but unfortunately, it's just not working out to him. He got tight that time, and he also has damage.
I mean, a lot of people have damage up here. The 86 is damaged, the 84, the 00. I mean, I don't even know if there's anybody in the field that doesn't have at least some degree of damage. So it's just a matter of how much the damage is affecting some cars versus others. And into 3, Sawyer St. Clair almost to the back bumper of the 9, but didn't get as good of a corner there. And out of 4, Dominic Howell to the back bumper of Aaron Brown. 18 can't block that one. And we'll see how this goes in the 1, but these 3 are all over each other here.
Yeah, this is what Omar
Diallo wants to see.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. This is what Omar wants to see in his mirror. All the side-by-side action just going on right behind. He's probably going to pull himself a bit ahead, but once they get single file, I think we'll start to see some more moves being shuffled out as Julian works himself to the bottom side, or at least tries to. Malachi Drake into 5th, and he has the freshest tires as well. Where did he come from?
And I don't think Malachi's car has that much damage on it. That 22 might be one to watch here in the late goings of this race. So maybe staying out a bit longer is going to work out in his favor. We'll have to see, as he'll take 4th away from Aaron Brown. And just like that, the 22 is right back up front again.
Oh boy. Look at them, they're all over each other. Sawyer tried to peek under Omar. Looks like it didn't work. And now with Malachi into the picture, so where's Malachi gonna go? He's sort of boxed in line, and Omar is just leaving this huge line of draft right behind.
10 to go. So running out of time for these guys to make their moves. And we'll see when they end up being made. As I think Malachi's, there he goes. Dominic's gonna block him under the white line. But Malachi's still gonna have enough of a run to get the nose under him into 3. And up to 3rd goes the 22. And almost contact there between Aaron Brown and Dominic. So Malachi up now into a podium spot with 9 to go. But these last 2 cars are probably going to be the toughest to pass.
Yep, that's right. And look how damaged this 51 is. His whole rear end is gone. And he's still running in 2nd somehow. He's leaving a wake right behind. Actually, this 9 is leaving more of a wake than this 51. And it's allowed this 22 to pull into the picture. So now with the top 3, all like this, how can Malachi play his cards out right and scoot himself up front?
Gonna be honest, I think Malachi might benefit from a caution here. Because if a caution comes out and Omar picks the bottom, that's gonna allow Malachi to probably get enough of a run on Sawyer St. Clair to get that spot pretty easily off a restart. But we'll see.
See how tight this 51 of Sawyer is running. He washes up. He might open up the door for the 22. If he does, then... Oh, Malachi hit the wall!
Oh, no! And just as Malachi got the nose there, he overcooks it out of 4 and ends up in the outside wall, and that's going to probably take him out of contention as here comes Aaron Brown trying to take that 3rd spot back. So it might be down to a 2-car race now between Omar Diallo and Sawyer St. Clair. And a tough break for Malachi. Just might have overdriven it just a bit too much there out of 4.
Brown, trying to side draft the Dominic Howell machine. I mean, Sawyer's been staying with Omar, but he just can't find a hole to find himself under. And you see how low this number 9 is of Omar. He is right on that blue line, finding all sorts of... finding as much track as he can to corner through. Man, the 51 just sucks up so much on the entries of straightaways. But Malachi, he's just back right into the picture. Look at him come out of nowhere.
5 to go at the line, just as we thought Malachi was down and out. Not so fast for that 22, as he's right back up there again. So maybe this is something to keep in mind with these new cars. It looks like the damage may not be as impactful as it is with the current Cup cars, because in the current Cup cars, if you hit the wall the way the 22 did, you'd probably be down RPM and a couple laps down already. But in this car, look at this, he's already going for 2nd place.
How about that? Malachi is beaten and scraped, but he will not be denied. Malachi to 2nd, 4 laps to go at the line.
So basically has 4 opportunities to try to get himself to the back bumper of Omar and get by him. But you see the gap that he's opened up now, it's about half a second. And for this to be even feasible, he's going to need the 51 to stay behind him and try to work with him in the draft instead of trying to make a double wide move on him. And speaking of double wide, looks like Aaron Brown's going to drop a pair of spots there to Dominic Howe and Julian Ritchie. Or, well, he'll hold off Ritchie, but the 86 gets by him. 3 to go here at the line, and they're starting to close in on Diallo. I think we might see a white flag move. We'll see.
Look at the run. He got through the center of the corner.
Look at him go.
He's flying.
Here we go.
What can he do in a 3? Looks like he's going to stay himself in line. Trying to multitask right now. He's trying to fend out this number 51 as for gunning the 9.
I think if he makes a move, it's going to be down the backstretch on this coming lap. 2 to go at the line. When will he make the move? But for him, for this to work, the 51 cannot make a move on him. But you know he's going to if the opportunity presents itself. And it might be right here.
He goes to the high side, gathering up a run. Omar's going to fend out low,
51's
but the
there,
51's there. Oh, that might have thrown away his chance. We'll see what he can do with this white flag.
Got one more shot here.
I mean, you saw how slow Omar was in 1 and 2. If Malachi repeats what the same thing he did last lap, that might be the move. White flag is done by 1.5 miles to go.
Omar Diallo trying to fend off Malachi Drake for the very first ACOG race win. Malachi takes a bit of a higher arc through turns 1 and 2, and this is it right here. Can he get enough of a run down the backstretch to make a move into turn 3? I don't know if he can, as Sawyer St. Clair pulls up to the back bumper of him. He's right there, but it looks like it's not going to be enough. And out of turn 4, Omar Diallo is going to win the very first ACOG race, and will pick up some cash here for winning the first leg of the Triple Challenge.
Oh my, Malachi had a good shot, but unfortunately, he just didn't get a run off of 2 like I expected him to last lap. I mean, with 2 to go, but regardless of that, we've crowned our first winner, and that's Omar Diallo.
Yeah, Malachi's best shot, I think, was with 3 to go, but once the 51 got the nose under, it just killed the momentum he had and pretty much wrapped it up. So, congratulations to Omar on a job well done here on picking up the victory here tonight in the Next Gen Shootout.
How about that for him? Right back into the rhythm of where he was last season, as he's going to burn it down here on the front stretch. The number 9 of Omar Diallo wins it.
And while he burns it down, we'll get you the finishing order here for tonight's event. Omar Diallo takes the first ever ACOG victory here tonight. Malachi Drake just came up a bit short. Sawyer St. Clair, phenomenal run for him there in 3rd. Dominic Howe in 4th. Julian Ritchie, I cannot say enough about how good of a run that is for him. Top 5 as a rookie. How about that? Aaron Brown, Darius Riza-Dadgar, Ryan Kendrick, David Bachman, and Jeremiah Bethune, the rest of the top 10.
It's going to be Jackson Menchu, Dylan Bass, and Harry Grindle, Maxi Urick Last cars on the lead lap. I'm gonna scroll back to Amir Page in 15th place. Kilo Hankins 7 down in 16th. It's Peter Kenny, Benjamin A. White, William Schmidt, and Richard Sprague Jr., who unfortunately got taken out, one of our rookies.
45 was looking really good earlier. Matthew Klein 21st, Justin Johnson 22nd, Henry Tabor, Casey Drake, Joe Burgee next 3, Ibrahim Dejani, Glenn Bundren, Kenneth Bueno, Mitch Hobbs, who we saw unfortunately caused that incident earlier with Dominic, and Sartaj Shimon round out your top 30.
Rest of the order is going to be shown on your screen. It's Andy McDowell, Logan Clampett, Connor Brennan, Brody Gardner, Colton Zimmer, Luke Peters, and Dane Cruz, all out of the race. Still more to come as we interview the top 3 ACOG iRacing Series Day 1 out of 3 with the Next Gen Shootout coming to you here live at Charlotte for the post-race coverage. Be back after these 3 messages. And we welcome everybody back here for the ACOG iRacing Series, back here live at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We've finally crowned our first ACOG winner of the season, and that'll be that number 9 of Omar Diallo, who picked it up in a phenomenal fashion, holding off Malachi Drake in that number 22, who was hard charging through that entire final run. And man, what an effort by him.
Yeah, I thought Malachi had a really good chance to win that, but once Sawyer made that move on him with 3 to go, it took all the momentum he had away and just couldn't quite get back up to the bumper again. So we'll get him up here and see what he's got to say about winning the first ever ACOG event.
Up and into the booth he goes. Even though he had a bit of damage on his front and rear, Omar picks up the victory here at Charlotte, and he's going to walk out of here with $10 as well. Omar, congratulations, man. You held off a hard-charging 22 of Malachi Drake, and you secure one here for day 1 out of 3.
Thank you. Really tough race there. Had to use the arrow push to my advantage, and we got the win in the end.
Yep, that's alright. And even though you had a bit of damage, it seemed as though it came down to track position by the end of it. Describe to me in the next gen package how it is just racing out and just placing your car at the right angles.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot more air involved than what we used to have. You could just run your line and pinch people and not have to worry about the consequences of getting side drafted or having arrow push, but now you have to really think about all those things. So I found the top in 3 and 4 really worked for me well. No one was going up there, and I could use the wall proximity to get some turn in the car. I mean, starting from the back, it was pretty easy to get to the front. It's more of a super speedway package, but once you got to the lead, you were a sitting duck unless the tires were, and thankfully we got along in the front.
Yeah, you mentioned being a sitting duck. Once you did get side by side with somebody, it sort of stalled you out. How were you able to clear drivers quick and efficiently out in the racetrack?
You got to get a big run somehow. Either you get a good exit off the bottom, or you run the top, and you just got to side draft them and get away as quick as you can. That's what I found has worked the best. Or you could try to time it with a push behind you. Like I said, it's more of a super speedway package now than it used to be.
All right, but 10 for Omar Diallo in this number 9 machine rounds himself out up top after leading 28 laps out of the scheduled 67. Before I let you go, any special want to thank you for tonight?
None really.
All right, but 10 for Omar Diallo rounds himself up top after starting himself in 14th. Go ahead and see you coming into the next days.
Tomorrow.
Late models.
Models at Linear. Okay. I will be there. See you.
All right. See you.
That was really interesting feedback that he gave, talking about how it's basically a super speedway package compared to the current cup cars. It's got to be something he should probably keep a note for future events. You never know where that might come in handy, but we'll drag in our runner-up here tonight, Malachi Drake, into the race booth. Malachi, got a copy?
I got you.
Man, you were flying up there those last couple laps, even after you made the contact with the wall. If you had a couple more laps, do you think you might have been able to get there?
I don't think so. The arrow is pretty bad when you get right on someone's bumper, and I think the only way I was going to pass them was to move them. And that's just not a driver I am, because I don't wreck them. That was good driving by Omar. I mean, he did the line perfectly to keep air on my car the whole entire time. Congrats to him.
And we were just talking to Omar about, he was talking about arrow push and that kind of thing. How much different was it trying to make a move on him like that compared to the current cup car?
Yeah, it's I would say that there needs to be some fine tuning for this next gen car. Maybe wait till the actual car comes out on track to see. But yeah, with the current car, I think it would have been a little bit better trying to make that pass, because I think you have a little bit more options, as in this car was more on throttle, so that push was worse, because if you had to let off at all, you were losing time.
Yeah, definitely some growing pains, I think, but the more they update it, I think it should better represent what it's going to be on track. But regardless, still a runner-up finish here for tonight. Before I let you go, any sponsors or people you want to thank here?
Thank you guys for broadcasting, and I had fun in this race despite the caution. Thank you.
It was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was fun to drive. These definitely need some fine tuning, but it was fun to drive, and thank you guys for putting this on.
Without a problem. Malachi Drake, runner-up here tonight at Charlotte. Hope to see you back here for the rest of the weekend.
All right.
Screw ourselves back one more position to this number 51 of Sawyer St. Clair, and into the booth he goes. Sawyer, you're in that battle at the end with Omar and Malachi. You're on the same strategy as Omar, though, but unfortunately you come out here third. So what have you done better there toward the end of the race?
I probably could have just managed my tires a little better, especially when in the draft, going into those corners, you get really tight. Washed up the track, it definitely wasn't very much of a help.
And of course, of these being new cars as well, I'm interested to see on what your feedback is with these new vehicles. Describe to me how it is just racing out on the in a pack. Omar described it as basically super speedway racing again.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with him. It's even though it's just shorter mileage, it's basically everyone's just right there. It's probably why we got so many cautions so early on, but we managed.
Yep, and you managed a third here out for tonight. You started yourself in 15th, round yourself out third. Before I let you go, any sponsors you want to thank you for tonight?
No, I don't have any.
All right, bud. 10 for sponsor store St. Clair. Shout out to him. We'll go ahead and see you coming next race, bud.
Alrighty.
And that will just about do it here for us tonight. But, of course, this is only the first of the 3 days of the Triple Challenge. And tomorrow night we've got the late models at Lanier, and my mind is completely blanking on what we're doing on Sunday.
Oh, you can't forget the biggest day out of all of them, the Super Speedway.
Ah, of course. Alright, so we had the next gens tonight, late models tomorrow, and Super Speedway racing on Sunday. So a little bit of everything here for this Triple Challenge here. Omar Diallo off to a great start. winning the race here tonight. Congrats to him on that and picking up some money. But if he could win tomorrow, he'd pick up some more. And if he can win all three, he'd be walking out with a pretty good payday. So we'll see if he can do that. But for now, that'll be it for us tonight. For Ezekiel Reyes, I am Dewey Stram. We will see you tomorrow night.